Greetings and salutations, friends of Goochland. Well, it's a gorgeous spring day. The pollen is a little bit lower. The temperatures are nice, and it looks like we might finally get some rain. A few raindrops. Anything will help. It's so dry. I can't imagine what's happening to the water levels in the aquifer. Anyway, it's really a nice day. I appreciate the folks reaching out. After my last video, I guess, exuding sadness. Yes, I was. But anyway, I appreciate that folks reached out and gave me some kind thoughts and energy and sort of revitalized my approach. I want to talk today about a couple things. First of all, some friends, I wasn't able to go to the Board of Supervisors meeting last night, but some of the folks were, and I appreciate that, and I got some feedback, and I'm going to play a little of that video later on. I'm also going to talk about a little bit more in depth about the study that was released on pollution around data centers that use natural gas power plants. I think this is significant. So yeah, there's two significant things today I want to talk about. I want to echo Kathy Crockett's talk last night at the Board of Supervisors about the necessity to get citizens involved in rewriting the comprehensive plan, and then I want to talk about the horrible impact of gas turbine power plants in populated areas. So first of all, data centers in 2015 are not what they are in 2026. Power lines in 2015 are not what they are in 2026. The number and intensity of electrical activity, industrial activity as a whole are completely different. I think the new mantra in the inner circle, the castle keep, if you will, is, well, in progress there's going to be winners and losers, and the people in power are willing to say, I'm fine with that. And yet, I don't know how they can say that. Not everybody can be a clear winner, but you don't need losers. I mean, and for our government to say there's going to be losers, and we're going to plan on that, and we're actually going to help that, just is reprehensible. But I'd like to say I'm getting used to it out here, but I'm not. So one of the things in progress is, if you're keeping up with what it is, it's the evolution of technology, the evolution of civil engineering, electrical engineering, all kinds of engineering, which impacts the size, the scale, and all of that, makes a big difference to humans. And the state, the Commonwealth of Virginia, said, you need to update your comprehensive plan once in a while with citizen input to tell them what's out there, what might be coming, and give them a chance to voice their concerns, so that you can update the comprehensive plan to stay up with the technology and up with the citizenry in the community. We haven't done that. So, but I tell you that there's a lady, Kathy Crockett, who spoke last night at the Board of Supervisors meeting, and she gave a clear, articulate description of where we are and the path we should be on. And the fact that the Board of Supervisors are letting data centers and the big West Creek landowners run how the comprehensive plan is executed. She's a little kinder than I am. She didn't use any names. She did say some cool things, And I'm going to play that clip for you now. This is, of course, courtesy of the YouTube site for the Goochland Board of Supervisors meetings, and a big shout out to my friends on the west side of the county who sent me notification about this, because this is a big deal. We have a big county with a diverse population and demographics, and rural, suburban, lots of different stuff going on in Goochland County. And so we don't always agree on many things, but we have common issues about how life should be, and data centers is not really part of that. I know that there are a few people that support data centers. Most of them have more than $1 billion. Anyway, I'm going to play this clip for you, and you'll get an idea of a path forward, because Ms. Crockett has got some good ideas about what should be next, and I hope the Board of Supervisors listen to her. I don't have much hope, but I do hope that they will. I do hope they will. Here she is.
Farms. I cannot believe that there is not a connection between these solar farms and the transmission lines. I think because all of these are related regarding the power that's coming into our county, through our county, across our county, that all of these things need to be put on hold until such time as the comprehensive plan can be put before the public, so that you all know and understand what the public wants or doesn't want before you start passing these things. And I'm charging Mr. Raley to please start setting up meetings for the public for us to be able to start review of the comprehensive plan, and I need a vote from this board on whether or not they're willing to do this to help preserve the rural county. On the first one that you pull up, it was actually put to the Planning Commission in January of this year. And this is the first that the public has seen it. It's despicable. Nobody out there wants this. We bought in the western end of the county to be away from this garbage. And it's moving forward at a pace we cannot keep up with, because you all have not done your job to get the comprehensive plan gone over, reviewed, and strengthened where it needs to be strengthened. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crockett.
So that's a fairly good synopsis of the current status of how the community is able to articulate to its elected representatives, and the representatives tell the county staff how to implement those things. But you can see where the gap is. There's a big giant gap between what the community wants and what the Board of Supervisors is applying. This is something that's been going on for quite a while. It's been highlighted here on the East End with Highfield, the way the Board of Supervisors ignored everybody. With the data centers of the TOD, Board of Supervisors ignored everyone. It goes on and on. And so hand in hand with that, the comprehensive plan needs to be redone, but also, thanks again to a friend who's very interested in this, there are no real standards in any of the zoning, the M1, R1, A1, whatever, all the zoning, there's no standards. So you can pretty much put anything you want as long as it comes within a general boundary of like residential property, but you might be able to put something on there that's horrible. That's horrible for the community, horrible for Goochland in general. And yet because there's no standards, there's no way for the government to control that. So, comprehensive plan followed by some zoning standards for construction and types of buildings, and for instance, M1, light industrial. There's no such thing as a light data center. No such thing. And with the application that's going to be filed fairly quickly in the South for that 900 acres surrounding Mosaic and the Richmond Country Club, that's going to be, I don't remember, 3 million square feet? Well, somewhere between 2 and 3 million square feet. I don't know what the megawatts are going to be that's going to be required, but I'm willing to bet that either Dominion has been working on this for many years with the county, or the data centers are planning on putting in their own natural gas plant. That's probably what it is. Although that wouldn't surprise me. The county has been working under the secrecy cloak of non-disclosure agreements for a long time. So that's pretty bad. Well, the last thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to put some charts up. As the power requirement goes up and up and up, and I hope the governor and the General Assembly decide to cut off the tax break to at least slow it down. It won't stop it, because they're still going to want to come here. They got to go someplace. That's what they figure. I'll come back to that. They're probably going to have natural gas generators at each one of these sites. And the natural gas generators operate under a DEQ, Department of Environmental Quality, Virginia, which says each one of these generators has to have a maximum of this kind of exhaust and bad stuff that comes out. And so if you're DEQ and you go out and you measure that single generator, gas generator, you might have in fact be compliant with that requirement that you're only going to have so many PM 2.5s and other noxious gases. But when you put a whole boatload of them together, it's not a good thing. And in fact, there's a plant up in Northern Virginia in Loudoun County called the Vantage plant, and they've put in they have a giant power plant. And here's what the study from Empower found out, that the impact of this data for around the area where people live. It's going to be $53 to $99 million per year in health-related damages. Potentially up to from $265 to $495 million over 5 years. 17 to 33 additional premature deaths over the next 5 years across this region, and increased instances of non-fatal hospital admissions, asthma-related impacts, and lost productivity. And then increased emissions in communities with existing air quality burdens, because this one plant is not the only one in the area. And the point that this study makes is that these impacts are not just for the people who live right next door. They're for people who live miles away because of the gas turbines. In the case of Vantage VA2, that's the name of this particular data center, its emissions reach 2.5 million people, including those living in the neighboring counties and parts of the Metro Washington, D.C. area. So this is not a good thing. And if in fact that happens, we, the citizens, have no input anymore. We're at the mercy of whatever the data centers wants. Because once you let them in, they got you. There's no board of supervisors going to shut them down. It's just not happening. At least not here. Not yet with this group. Emissions, I'm going to read this part. Emissions from Vantage VA2 and from intermittent use of backup diesel generators at multiple other nearby data centers have a cumulative effect on air quality. Over 13,000 generators are currently permitted across Virginia. And there are studies by VCU, University of California, George Mason University, who also looked at pollution studies. And so this is not just a Mosaic problem or an Avery Point problem or a Reader's Branch problem. This is now a Goochland problem and a Central Virginia problem soon to be, because what they're doing with all the power lines on the west coast, on the west coast, on the western part of the county, they're just building a highway to attach data centers to. So as soon as they get that line done, they'll be putting a data center there, maybe even sooner. And we haven't really looked at the water yet. I don't know, but like I said in my last video, I've heard that the water level is going down, and what previously used to be 20-foot wells are going down more than 100 feet. So that's kind of an indicator. You know, you don't get that back overnight. And all you got to do is look at us here. This is supposedly one of the wetter parts of the year, and we got nothing. So please give a listen again, if you don't mind, to the video that Kathy Crockett did. Her little, it's a very short speech to the Board of Supervisors. And she pleaded with them to do something, to take a vote, to do something, to change this comprehensive plan. And she said, hey, if you don't do that, you're not doing your job. That's right. They're not doing their job. They've sacrificed us citizens because, as they say, there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. And you, the citizens of Goochland, are the losers in this case. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.